Now, keeping the lights switched on at the region's homes and businesses is an important job, and that involves regular checks on the thousands of miles of power lines which crisscross our region.
Now, the best way to keep an eye on them is from the sky. So today, engineers from UK Power Networks took us up with them to see how things are looking. Alex Dunlop reports.
In a biting wind at Duxford Air Museum, our pilot David has permission to lift.
Surface wind is 340 degrees at 15.
Beside him, Adam. His job to keep a close eye on the region's overhead power lines. 19 years into the job, just a few feet off the ground.
OK, so we're inspecting this 33 kV line for any abnormalities. The conductors were OK, the danger signs are correct. If there's any vegetation issues or other clearance issues to either buildings or the ground.
UK Power Networks distributes electricity to 3.5 million customers across the east. Its helicopters patrolled 21,000 miles of overhead power lines. Thermal imaging cameras can detect hotspots showing up as white. The greater the load, the hotter it gets. Ground teams are then dispatched to repair the fault.
Well, we're now flying at about 50 feet above ground level, inspecting these 11,000 volt power lines, not the massive pylons that you see dominating our landscape. On an average day, the team will inspect up to 100 miles of power lines.
Last winter, Storm Doris brought chaos to the region and brought down power cables. 40,000 people were without electricity. So when you have a storm coming in, what issues are you faced with?
Well, the weather, windborne material flying and damaging our lines, so we're just making sure that there's no trees in the proximity of the overheads that could come down and cause a power outage.
The threat to power lines from nature is unsurprising. The threat from us lot verges on the bizarre.
You find a lot of farmers build too close to the overhead lines, so they've got the hay bales directly underneath the lines, almost so much so they're almost ducking underneath them, almost apparently not aware of 11,000 volts and what they can do to somebody.
It may be a great view from the office window, but this is intense and tiring work.
966, bye-bye.
With just a few hours of winter daylight left, Adam and David head back to Duxford. December is set to be their busiest month yet this year. Alex Dunlop, BBC Look East, Cambridgeshire.